Hi everybody, it's me. It's Amy Caroline. Okay, I just wanted to let you know. I just wanted to let you guys know that you guys know my ghost train stories. My ghost train stories. Well, listen. You guys know my ghost train stories. All of my ghost train stories I'm doing here, like with Ghost Train, Well, listen. Here is haunted hotels. Here's haunted hotels, okay? Um haunted hotels is about when you're visiting a haunted hotel, all the spirits um um all the spirits and all the ghosts go back in time, the stories go back in time, and you see the people go back in time and tell the stories. Well, guess what? This is what I want Ghost Train to be about, okay? This is what I want Ghost Train to be about, okay? So I'm gonna play some episodes of haunted hotels, and then I will show you what Ghost Train what the Ghost Train um I will show you what the Ghost Train documentary of what I want to look of what I want it to look like on the Travel Channel if it was a documentary. Okay, if it was a documentary, I will show you what I want the Ghost Train documentary to look like on the Travel Channel if it's ever put on TV. Okay, so without further ado, here is Haunted Hotels. Here we go, folks. I'm just gonna hold the camera up and I'll show you guys.
Rest and relaxation awaits you when you spend the night in a luxury hotel. But if the hotel is said to be haunted, you might not be the only one to make yourself at home. You never know who or what will be waiting for you on the road less traveled, where spirits of the past fill the night and departed shadows walk once more. When you visit a romantic inn, a ghost story can amuse you until you find out the story is about your hotel and the ghost is in your room. Whether the spirit of a young girl searching for her mother or the beautiful but undead model still desperate for her close-up. That's the thing about ghost stories. They're just stories until they sneak up on you as you lie awake in the dark. And all of a sudden, your dream vacation becomes a nightmare. Old cities make for great vacations, with historic homes to visit and cobblestone streets to explore. They're reminders of a time when life was simple. But spend the night in a haunted hotel, and history just might come alive in the most unsettling ways. Nestled in groves of walnut trees, the Snowball Mansion Inn is the pride of Knights Landing, California. In the 1870s, the Victorian Italianate villa was by far the grandest in the town, and was once known as the White House of the West.
Snowball Mansion is a very elegant lady facing the Sacramento River.
Built to last, The mansion was constructed entirely of mud bricks drawn from the property.
The mud was taken from the river, and it took 5 years for all the bricks to be made. Even the interior walls are brick.
Today, a layer of plaster coats the sturdy brick walls. Walls made to last the centuries. Walls that once muffled a cry that echoes through the ages.
We've had, people just kind of stare in disbelief, asking, what is that?
The haunting story of the Snowball Mansion begins over a century ago in the 1870s, when a businessman named John Snowball built the home for his young bride, Lucy.
John and Lucy Snowball were very happy together. They spent a lot of their time in their home and enjoying the grounds, reading in the grove. The sound came from the land.
Before long, the couple's joy increased with the birth of their daughter. For Lucy, the child was welcome company during the times when John's business took him far from home.
I don't think it was easy for Lucy, and her husband was away on business a lot. So when he returned home, it was a special time for her to spend time with him.
Whenever John returned from a trip, Lucy delighted in hearing about his travels. But one night, this simple pleasure would rob the couple of their greatest joy.
John had just returned from his trip, and Lucy was glad to see him. She went in to spend some time with him after putting the baby down. So I went all the way across town.
Lucy usually spent the night in her room next to the nursery. But the long day had taken its toll, and she fell asleep listening to John tell stories of his trip. Lucy slept peacefully, never dreaming of the dangers hidden by the quiet of their home.
The walls being brick, they're very well insulated, so noise does not travel in a brick house.
In the morning, Lucy awoke and realized she had slept the entire night away from the nursery.
She immediately ran to check on the baby.
But the very bricks on which John and Lucy's happiness was built, that night had muffled the cries of their child in their nursery.
That's where she found the baby. John! And the baby was not breathing.
The child had died in the night.
When Lucy found her child dead, she was devastated. She blamed herself for not being in her room to hear the baby.
Lucy laid her daughter to rest, but not her grief. John struggled to lift his wife out of her sorrow, but the young and happy woman he had married was gone.
I don't think Lucy ever forgave herself for losing her child. I think she felt guilty her whole life and went into a deep depression that she really never came out of. She stayed home and became a recluse.
Though she lived into her 70s, Lucy Snowball took her grief with her to the grave.
She never was the same after her baby died.
But according to some, even death could not bring the peace that Lucy longed for. And since her passing, locals have looked on her home in a different light.
All the children in Knight's Landing think it's the haunted house. It's always been the big, haunted, scary mansion.
Even the current owners, who have converted the home to a bed and breakfast, feel there is much more to the mansion than meets the eye.
The oddest feelings is when the windows rattle.
It's common for the windows of old houses to rattle in the wind. But at Snowball Mansion, the pattern is most uncommon.
The windows will start rattling one at a time upstairs, and they'll go across the front of the house, down the house, to the front door, and around the side of the house. People that aren't used to it or have never seen it are quite startled by it.
These eerie incidents have alarmed many a guest, but for those who hear Lucy's sad tale, there's only one explanation that makes perfect sense.
It seems sometimes that Lucy attempts to waken guests so that they can check on their family to prevent maybe another tragedy.
Lucy's warnings take several forms, from rattling doors and windows to setting off smoke detectors. And sometimes they say she even tries a more direct approach at the front door.
In the early evening, at dusk, the doorbell will ring, and I've gone to answer the door, and nobody's there. I'll step out onto the porch, look around, nobody's there. And you kind of get a odd little feeling.
More than one guest has reported that Lucy goes far beyond just making noise.
About 25 years ago, a renter lived in that room, and he started seeing Lucy appearing to him.
It always happened in the middle of the night when she would come, and he would wake up and see her. It made him feel very uncomfortable, and he eventually moved.
Recent bed and breakfast guests say they have spotted Lucy eerily going about her motherly duties of old.
Guests told us that Lucy's ghost had come through the wall where a doorway leading into the nursery had once been.
Could it be that in death, as in life, Lucy still wanders the halls of her mansion, seeking to prevent a tragedy long past?
I believe Lucy is still in the house because she has never really gotten over the loss of her child. She is still roaming these 3 rooms.
On most nights, guests sense Lucy's spirit is veiled in sorrow. But sometimes it seems she relives happier days.
There's been reports from some of our guests that they've heard old-fashioned music coming from the old ballroom upstairs.
And if Snowball Mansion's owners are correct, Lucy does not walk alone. Another spirit is there to comfort her forever.
I'm sure if Lucy Snowball spirit is here, that John Snowball spirit is here also, at Lucy's side.
Together forever, that's the way to spend eternity, though few are so lucky. Just ask the girl who once dreamed that love could conquer all.
Many have been so petrified that they've immediately insisted that they be moved to another bedroom.
But first, in this imposing stone inn, a wary spirit still keeps the secrets he carried to the grave.
I wonder if there isn't something still hidden up on those 5th and 6th floors.
It gets weirder.